Look, you are hi. No, we gotta connect the owl to this. Where's the do you have
Got this on?
is this actually I didn't check on.
That's plugged in right there. On there, it'll connect directly to the.
What did you download the owl app?
I haven't done it. I have the app. I said, I haven't done anything, Scott, because, okay, this is my first time. All right. So why is the, oh, we are not. We're recording.
Good afternoon and welcome to the August 7th meeting of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. I'm Carrie Suffern, this year's president of the Rotary Club of Raleigh, and I'm excited to see all of y'all here. Welcome to everybody on Zoom. Hope you all are enjoying the last 2 weeks of summer. I can get my first, so I'm waiting for those leaves to start changing.
Oh, let me, sorry.
Was that me or you?
It was me, my apologies.
As always, follow us on Facebook. We are active on there. And before we get started introducing guests and our other business, we'd like to invite our esteemed member and past district governor, Patty Ruby, going to do our invitation for the day.
Join me, everybody. Gracious God, we give you thanks for the gift of this day. We give you thanks for the opportunity to come together in fellowship and friendship. And in this working club, which we serve this community and our world. We ask that you bless the food that is laid before us. We also ask that you bless us as we seek to remember those who will be easy to forget. Or the lonely, destitute, the impoverished. Open our hearts that we may serve them in our communities around us. We pray that what we do may be to your glory this day and all our lives. Amen.
You all rise and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag.
to the republic
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night, through the light from above. The mountains, to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. ROTARI. There we go. Go ahead, Charles.
All right, everybody remember, let's begin. So what we're gonna do now is we have a lot of fantastic guests here. So I'm gonna pass around the microphone from table to table. And if you are a guest today, I'd love it if you would stand up, say who you are here with, if you are somebody's guest, and what you do for a living. So before you take another bite, sorry, I would love it if you would stand up and introduce your guest, Daniel. Introduce Daniel. Here's him.
I'm sorry, Robin, and I would like to introduce today Daniel Raleigh. Daniel is the executive for Neighbor Health, which is a very remarkable medical clinic built off Lakewood Trail going up to Beck Hospital. Daniel was born in Reno, Nevada, went to, University of Nevada, Reno, and when he graduated, I think he's lived his life according to our motto, service above self. He volunteered to serve 6 months in Kenya with a Canadian nonprofit. And then he, after about 6 months, he organized a own organization to help young people and spread leadership. And he ended up staying over there for 8 years. He then came back to the Tri-Cities area of Eastern Washington State, where he was very heavily involved in hospitals. Well, you know, here in Raleigh, neighbor health may not have heard of it before, but Doug Riggs, who went to state and then to medical school, when he finished, he and his wife, they volunteered to go to a remote area in China to provide medical care to people that didn't have much money. But after 22 years over there, Chinese government asked him, demanded that they leave. And so they came back to Raleigh, and made contact with 7 or 8 of his old friends and raised enough money to build this clinic, or rented the clinic. It started with 3,500 square feet. After a couple of years, it expanded to 6,000 square feet. And then after a nationwide search, they hired Daniel Raleigh to come, and he has led the further advancement of neighbor health, and they now have 16,000 square feet, primarily serving people like refugees and immigrants and mothers with single mothers with children, people that need help. They supply 80% of their patients have Medicaid. So as said, I think Daniel was living our motto, service before self. So I hope you'll come back and give us the Monday meeting talk about neighbor health, and I hope also that you'll come here about love. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Daniel, for coming to visit us. And Nathan, Pastor Governor Nathan, you have a guest?
Yep. Good afternoon, everyone. I have my lovely wife, Rachel Thomas, here with me today for this big day.
Annie, our speaker, who's going to be introduced in a little bit, she also brought a very special guest.
My beautiful assistant, my husband. We got it.
Wonderful Rotarians at this table. We'll hear more about Cindy in a little bit. And Shane, you have a guest too.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shade, and I get two votes.
Hey, Ray.
Good afternoon. My name is Raleigh Rotary, and Jennifer Rodriguez, who I used to work with, invited me to had another engagement. I was with Chick-fil-A for 22 years as a franchisee here in Raleigh. Our restaurant was the one at Fort Hills. And in October, I decided to exit. And now what I do is I help people exit their own businesses. They're ready to hopefully not go out and eat first, but help them get evaluation on the business, and then help them find either a seller, a buyer, and also a buyer. So thank you, Jennifer, for having me. Thank you for your hospitality, and glad to be here.
Dr. Parsons will hear from you in a little bit as well. Randy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here as a guest of Paul Corsa. I have lived in the Triangle area since 1997. I've served as a nonprofit fundraiser for 28 years. Started with United Way, the Office for the Gateway Drug Fundraising. I was vice president of community campaigns like the late 90s. And yeah, it's kind of thrilled to be here, honored to be a guest. I'm really happy to tell you that after 20 years of fundraising, I'm as a student. Yes, I read that magic moment. Okay. And I hit a point when I did that I want to be very intentional about how I spend my time in this next phase. And I want to stay involved in service and in the community. So I'll tell you, I've always held the Rotary in high esteem, and I'm honored to be your guest.
We have 3 great guests at this table, so I'm going to pass the microphone around, starting with you, Heather. You can stand and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Sullivan. I work at Hope Community Church as the Director of Community Impact. Fun fact, in high school, I got a Rotary scholarship. So it's fun to be here full circle. But we are here as guests of Chase Freeman, and I'll let Matthew introduce himself.
Hello. Wow, it's really loud. Hey guys, my name is Matthew. I'm actually a pastor at Hope Community Church, and we're honored to be here. Truly, thank you guys for letting us be here. And really, I hope we just have a passion to help real people in our community. And so, thank you guys for what you do. And thanks for letting us join today. And thanks, Chase.
Hey, my name is Chuck Underwood. My guest is my daughter Bailey. She's a writer at Elon and is heading to Madrid for the fall. So got a quick month.
Thank you so much for introducing yourself. Don't forget the dimensional alliance of North Carolina buckets on the table. We have Raleigh Rotary and Heather here today. So drop the dollar, start changing there, please. Moving on to happy dollars. So where's the train going? There you are. You are happy dollars.
All right, what we got it. There you go.
I have a couple of happy dollars. My son is the rising senior at Wake Forest High School, and we've been doing the college tour circuit. And I've always gotten the gist from you guys how like the rivalries and the competition. And where I'm from, we don't have any of that. I have to tell you, we've been really enjoying it. And I think we did 7 tours already. I got 1 more left, but it's been a treat. So I want you to know how much I appreciate that.
$3 for my little girl Amelia. She just turned 3. We had her birthday party and smashing what's that?
I wrote my last check to Randolph Technical College. My daughter's a senior in their nursing program, and she heads back this fall. She has spent some extra to do Raleigh, so I'm very proud of her.
Well, I've got a happy dollar in honor of, see this works, our own Kurt Warner, and I'm using Monopoly money. That's what that's for. You don't have to change. You can write it on there, write your name. Kurt was designated as the North Carolina legal icon last week, and this is a major honor. And it's not only for the tremendous work he's done in the law field, but also his community service. He's a past president of our club, and just a great honor. So next time you see him, tell him congratulations. He said it was okay to share this because in his words, he wasn't going to be here to show us. So congratulations to Kurt. Rotary trivia time. Does anybody know the year that Polio now started? And that's a joint effort with the World Health Organization. Does anybody know what year that's? Almost Nathan, that's Mr. Governor, 1985 to 1988. It was in that year 250,000 cases of polio in 125 different countries. And as of this year, these are screen captures from going in and out. This morning, the InPolio World website, and there have been 6 cases so far. So, example of the amazing work that Rotary can do and partnerships between organizations can do. Upcoming meetings, no meeting next week. We are going to celebrate the end of summer, midsummer break. It's going back to school, take last minute trips to the beach. So feel free to show up, have a great meal, but we will not be meeting here. Then the next week we have Elizabeth Gardner and David Forrest, where get her scheduled with us. So that's gonna be a great presentation. The new member Eric Sutherland is going to talk about the state of senior care in North Carolina on the 28th. Then we will again not meet on Labor Day, which is September 4th. Upcoming district events, we have a membership summit, that is going to be August 19th. I believe Harrison's going to go. Jessica, I don't know if you're going to go, but they're going to go to the membership summit, so we'll hear about that. Then everybody is welcome to attend the fall assembly, which is going to be at Greenwood North Baptist Church in Cary. So mark your calendars for that Saturday and come on out and hear more about our district. Join a committee. I believe I saw, I don't know if Richard got the email. Shake is going to come up and say a few things about new generations. So Shake, go ahead and come on out here. Got you with a mouthful. Sorry about that. She is our vice chair of the New Generations Committee. Richard Watkins in the back, and raise your hand so those that don't know, he's our chair. And she's going to mention a few exciting things about what the committee does. And as she's walking up here, could I get Aaron Clark's dad, Pete Chaconi, and John Cannell, who are going to do our next segments.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shakima McLean, but a lot of y'all now know me as Shake. Yes, I am vice president to New Generation Watson, and I'm going to give a very brief of what we're about. Since I just learned about it, I was excited that I want to engage with him about it because I'm all about inclusion and diversity and use and all that. But what fascinates me about it is that in Rotary Club, we have partnerships with the colleges, which we have, which is called now the Interact Clubs within the different colleges within the Raleigh Rotary. And with that, and my knowledge of learning more about Rotary, we also have a high school level. I want to say I'm inspired that are now called Rotary, interests. So when I'm up here, the fact that it's been probably almost 4 years now. We were one of the first clubs to establish Interact. But over the years, Interact has evolved. So I'm up here to introduce it again. And, you know, as a club, would we be willing to reiterate with our high school students and recreate our if that sounds like a great idea, we do have our president back in something to move forward. So we do, please let her know, our chair know, and so that we can reestablish our high school back into international environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Shakina. If you like being around some awesome young people, then get up with Shake or Richard Watkins, you know, you can get involved in New Generations. Up next, we have a special nosy neighbor segment, Pete and John.
Hey, everybody, this week's victim is none other than John Connell. Just ask John, he's been a member of this club for 23 years. Pretty impressive. John, you want to tell us something about your career, family, little personal information? Yeah, I can speak to that. Something that
some people might have done about me back in the day, but I look around, this is a fairly young crowd. There's a band from this town called the Connells. And two of my brothers are the founding members. In fact, I was the third founding member. We're about a year into, they're still going after 40 years. They released about 9 or 10 records, played in all lower 48 states, more than a dozen countries in Europe, where in 1995, they had a song that went to #1 in the charts. Just about every country in Europe, not Madonna out of the #1 spot in Germany. And but before all of that happened, back in the early days of the band, they fired me as their drummer. And so older people know about this band that I know, have heard of them, maybe seen them a time or two. Most of them don't realize that I was the original drummer. And so coming out of school, we were all living together. My two brothers, another guy in the band, and the band's manager, and we lived in the same areas. And young men, he knew about the band, and the fans would come up and speak to me because they recognized one of the guys in the band was a twin. And you look on their faces when they say, yeah, not in the band, but I am the clerk of the Court of Appeals. It didn't have the same effect. That's not little note that, Pete.
And what about the most crazy experience in your life?
Okay, so here's where I rehabilitate myself, because I know y'all feeling sorry for me, you read about it. In 1984, they played the same band, the Connells, played their first ever show outside of the fraternity house. And it was at the fairs in the old Cameron Village Underground.
Oh, wow.
And I wonder how many of y'all remember that. But it was the thing. So that night, and I was there in the audience drinking the beer because I'd already been sad. Maybe more than one beer. But there were about 14 people total at the show. The Connells were opening for Johnny Quest. And there were the 14 people in the club that night. There were 2 women, 2 females, each of whom was on a date with a member of the 2 different bands. Neither of them said a word to me the entire night. Here's where this gets really good. I ended up marrying both of them. Not at the same time. It's the Connells, it's not the hospitals.
Okay.
Thank you so much, John. So I'm hearing more about musical talents. I really think we need a Rotary Club of Raleigh fan. We've got a drummer, we've got some singers, we're on the way. So with that, our president-elect, Eric Larson, aka my dad, can you come on up and do the raffle? It's special this week.
Yeah, I'm pleased to announce this week's raffle will have the biggest payoff in the history of our raffle. The reason why is the winner will get $25, but the winner will also get a copy of Andy's book, making it far more worthwhile to buy a ticket today. And I've worked with her administrative staff and her chief of staff and have it on good authority. You can get it signed, which makes it priceless. So it's like a story. One day you walked in the Rotary Club, you said, should I buy a ticket or not? You said, yes, I'll buy a ticket. And you ended up with a book changing your life. So that's our story.
That's good.
I'll have an assistant of somebody who didn't buy a ticket today. Terry, you'll pick one out and read the last 4 numbers. Your eyes are better.
Okay. 2228. Whoop. Nice. Andy, thank you for tuning in, and thank you everyone who bought tickets. So as I do the service update, Richard Favorite is on Zoom, but service update, Richard Watkins, could you head up to the front, and then Chase about Packapalooza? Yeah, Packapalooza, sorry. And then Chase, Heather, and yeah, and then Harrison's right there. So service stuff, we have one coming up in August is spring cleanup at Lions Park in Raleigh. We went to the same location last year. You can sign up in this week's bulletin, check your email, sign up there, but we need more people. We found some weird stuff in the creek last year in the spring. So Richard has a contest. Whoever picks out the weirdest item, craziest item, gets a $50 gift card to Tobacco Road. So sign up, come out and enter that contest. There were some weird things in that creek last year. Sarah Reeves did not make it today, but we'll look forward to an update on Dixie cultural workshops next week. And our generation share retreat, Watkins is going to talk about Packapalooza.
Hey, thank you so much. How's everyone doing today? Everyone doing good? Thumbs up, thumbs down? All right, perfect. Coming up August 21st is an amazing event where we're celebrating the incoming fall semester and all of the first year students. I suspect it is an opportunity for all of Raleigh to come and celebrate the amazing accomplishment that is North Carolina State University. We will be out there with the tent, the Rotary tent, meeting people, recruiting other students to join the NC State Rotary. It's a huge recruiting opportunity for them, along with so many other clubs at NC State. So if you have an opportunity, you want to hang out and meet some people. I think last time we were there, we had an opportunity to meet the chancellor. I please tell us really quick, this 15 seconds. So we're there with these young, impressionable youth, right? They're looking up to Tom and myself as like these amazing rock stars that we are. And Tom flexing on them as the Chancellor Woodson walked by. I mean, their jaws are on the floor. It's like they're singing the Queen or the King of England. Tom's like, Brittany, come over here. And he came on, and they were like, they were so mesmerized and amazed that they were able to bring the Chancellor over and took pictures. The Chancellor, the mascot, I have no idea the mascot's name. But it was an amazing opportunity. So please come out August 21st. Reach out to me if you have any questions for one all. We love your help. Thank you so much. Thank you.
On the 26th. So next we have a special report. Before Harrison comes up, y'all can enjoy the picture of him and Key Largo Love as Sam and Heather talk about a wrap up of Backpacks for Youth Service Project.
Everybody, what's up? Real quick, just a quick update. So we still have our last service social. We did a fundraising for backpacks. Here, all of the proceeds went to students in the foster care system here in the Wake County school system. And so supplies. In my estimation, that was enough for 10 foster children this year to have supplies, so that's tertiary supplies, those who get educated and help us continue to better our youth their education. So great job, everybody who gave. I also invited Heather, it was my contact through the organization, and she could give us some overall numbers. What kind of impacts we were able to help be a part of the integrator.
Thanks, guys, so much for having me here. One of the ways that our retreat chose to partner with our community. First of all, you can't do everything, but everyone can do something. And so one of the areas we're trying to impact is the area of foster care. The number of foster children in Wake County, this is just through Wake County government, not from any of the private organizations, hovers around 450 kids at a time. And so they reached out to us because with them going back to school, obviously they're going from place to place when they're displaced, they may not have supply. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to be able to stand in gaps. There's a lot of gaps in these teenagers' lives. And so when you show up in a gap like that, if it's 10 book bags, if it's 100 book bags, if it's one book bag, you show up in a gap for a kid who wonders, does anyone see me? Do I have any place where I belong? And so that look back provides a tangible representation of that. So I very much appreciate the gifts and the monetary donations and the book bag that we get to see come together. And the 3 social workers who showed up, those that ended up having to make 2 trips to be able to fit them all. So thank you guys so much as a group. Partnering with some other community organizations for a while to help, we were able to give 354 book bags to waiting on. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Heather and Chase, and it is time for Harrison with the site membership update.
Thanks so much. Hey, everybody. I'm so glad to be back. I will say I missed you guys last week, but also looking out at my hotel room in the Key Largo was wonderful. My wife and I, we were actually on our baby moon last week, and it was our last day there. And I was walking, we had coffee. I walked by one of the conference rooms and saw a Rotary flag hanging in there. So I walked in, met with the president, Ashley. They were getting ready for their club assembly. And I thought I have a club flag on me, but she had it on her. So she presented us with a club flag for the Rotary Club Key Largo. And I told her I'd be sitting through one. So that's just a quick snippet. If you're traveling, look out there. There's Rotary clubs everywhere. My wife was Rotary there. She hears me talking about Rotary all the time, even on vacation. So that was really cool. Next, we have a fun packed field section of membership. So if I could get Pete up here, as well as Matt, if you would come up as well. And then we'll move on to inductions in just a moment. But first, actually, Peter is on the on Zoom. So thank you so much for being on there. We have a first reading for Peter. I'm sorry if I'm saying your last name wrong. Peter Borey. He is sponsored by Jean Dubois. Peter is the owner of Peter Borey Coaching and Consulting, where he acts as a qualified life coach and business mentor for clients ranging from individual executives to multinational Fortune 500 corporations. He's originally from the UK. Peter has held positions as a London lawyer, a corporate executive in New York City, as well as 25 years of service as an officer with the Royal Air Force. Additionally, Peter was a member of the City and Shoreditch Rotary Club, where he served as a president back in 2010. He also showed me last time he was here, he showed me the pins they give to past presidents, and it was really cool, their pins. So I'm hoping that we can possibly do it for you guys. But anyways, really excited to have his energy and expertise as a potential member of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. Hopefully he's able to come here to our next meeting so you can meet him in person if you haven't done already. But Peter, thank you so much for being on Zoom. And if you've got any questions about his membership, please reach out to me. We also have our second reading for Matt Persons, who's sponsored by Jessica Cunningham. Matt, you were here last week. I think you told a little bit about wondering something about Rotary. Is there anything else you would like to add about yourself or joining the Rotary Club?
Afternoon, everybody. Good to see you all again. I am, my wife and I are new chiropractors in the area. We're Gonstead practitioners in the area. Coming up on a year, actually, in September, we just moved to the area and we opened our office in April, but we have just tried to make a big effort to try to be as plugged in as possible. And the more I talk with anybody involved with anything bigger than themselves, Rotary being a prime example of that. Rotary or Rotarians are synonymous with service and being some part of strong communities. That's really what we're just aimed at trying to be a part of. So that's what makes us, and we're just trying to figure it out. Thanks so much.
Yeah, so very excited to have Matt as another addition to our Rotary Club. If you haven't met with him, please say hello to him after the meeting. If you have any questions on this membership application, please reach out to me as well. Thank you so much for that. Next on the list, we have some beautiful inductions. So Cindy, if you would please come up at the front, as well as our past district governor, David, with what you would like to join with. And then Siri, Cindy, Siri.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay, never mind. All right. Perfect. You want to take today, we have the induction of Cindy Mark and our, who's sponsored by Linda Monahan, and our past district governor, David Thomas, who is sponsored by Sir Roberts. Semi and David's membership application have been reviewed and approved in accordance with our club's constitution and bylaw. And we will now proceed with bidding you both as the membership of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. But first, we have a few questions. Question number one.
Timmy and Nathan, will you join us as we strive to live a life of service above self?
Question number two.
Nathan, will you join us in our activities for service projects, and fundraising activities, and support of our community?
And question number three, will you join us in supporting Rotary's efforts worldwide which focus on these 7 areas, promoting peace, disease prevention, providing clean water and sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, economic and community development, and protecting the environment? Beautiful, thank you. Well, the other part, Rachel. But also, fellow Rotarians, would you join me in fostering and supporting both Nathan and Cindy as they come and become a part of the Rotary Club of Raleigh? If so, please say I will.
Oh, yeah.
You now, if you would please, provide Cindy with her. And Nathan, you probably have a whole bunch of these. Those are awesome projects. We are honored to have Cindy and Nathan as new members of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. Please join me in welcoming them to the Rotary Club of Raleigh. Yes, sir. And last but not least, we have the badge induction today. Chase, if I can have you up front, please. Chase, you were approved by the members of the board of this club to hold an active membership in the Rotary Club of Raleigh. You expressed your willingness to become a Rotarian at your induction ceremony and pledge to abide by the principles, responsibilities, and obligations of the Rotary Club in your personal and professional life. Membership in the Rotary Club is an honor and privilege, and it has corresponding obligations to live by the object of Rotary, the motto of service above self, and the 4-way test. Upon your induction, you were provided a list of things that you had to do, from doing service social, the service project, being part of board meetings, and you've done all of those things. So we thank you for that. These steps, your good badge, your staff to help you get to know this club, its members, and the administrative organization, and for the members of this club to get to know you as well. As you've completed all those tasks, I'm so honored to have you move from your red badge to your blue badge. That is all I have. Back to you.
Thank you so much, and welcome to me and Nathan. We're so excited to have you as part of the club. Birthdays and anniversaries. We have John Cates. Your birthday is this week. On
Sunday.
Sunday. John Cates, Charles King, happy birthday. Back there, Leslie Oliver's birthday, and David Forrest, happy birthday. Did I forget you? Jack Monty Sanders. I didn't see him today to have a birthday. And then Reagan and Arda Weaver, happy anniversary to them. Pete and Jennifer Chaconi, happy anniversary. And Kevin and Judy Summers celebrating anniversaries. So with that, it's time to hear from our fantastic speaker. And I think if you want to make your way to the front, it's going to be a quick short bio, and then we would love to hear from you. Annie Franceschi is a former Disney storyteller, best-selling author, speaker, and raising expert. In 2013, she quit a dream job telling stories at the Walt Disney Studios to start her own agency, Rated Story Creative. Over the last 10 years, Annie has advised hundreds of entrepreneurs, spoken for thousands, and featured in Forbes, and released 2 best-selling books, including the Service Business Roadmap, Establish Yourself, and the Self-Help Guide for Mission to Travel. Today, through branding, coaching, and speaking, Annie helps coaches and consultants confidently grow their greatest businesses without stressing social media. In her first children's book, Small Biz for Kids, debuts in October 2023. Annie is also proud to be a Duke University graduate, a lifelong Muppets fan, and a serial rewatcher of the Golden Girls. She currently lives in Durham, with her husband Gus, and their favorite person, their son Leo. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Annie to their fun.
Thank you so much, especially as Jessica Cunningham, who saw me speak and so graciously invited me. I have been speaking for the better part of 10 years, and some of my earliest days were in very warm Rotary rooms. So thank you for being such a welcoming community. I grew up in Fayetteville, so that's where some of those rooms were. I know we want to be cognizant of the time, so I'm gonna just lead us through best foot forward, big rating statement, and how to fix them. And as Carrie so gently mentioned, I used to work for Mouse, I used to work for the Walt Disney Company. And one of the biggest things I learned working for Disney, and as big a global company as they are, is that everything is how you tell the story. Everything is how you tell the story. So if I throw up just this logo, this is just a black text on a white background. But when I said Disney, or you saw it, you all felt something. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, maybe it's indifferent, but you felt something, right? And when I said it, maybe you thought of this logo, or maybe you thought of, the smell of churros and the Main Street Parade, or you thought, it went to your head. Or if those of you are entrepreneurs, you're in the room, we're going to think, it was all started by commandments. Whatever it is, that is brand. That's what we're going to be talking about today, is your brand and brand identity. So let's just do a quick show of hands. I know Rotary's got a great mix of people. So raise your hand if you have a business. It is a service based. Okay, we got some. So raise your hand if you don't have a business of any sort. You work for someone else. All right, we got a good mix in the room. I just want you to be listening. If you don't have a business, there's going to be something for you. Think about how you show up and how you present your own brand. So with that being said, we're talking about your brand and your brand identity. So if you've never had any YouTube branding, we're going to learn it one-on-one really fast this morning. So your brand is basically how people think and feel about your business and how you run it. Now this egg in the middle, that's what I call your brand identity. It's the thing that you actually get to impact. So anytime when I said Disney, you had some sort of feeling, right? Disney, even with all their money, doesn't get to control what you think about it, but it can influence how you feel about it. That's brand identity. So within that, that's things like your logo, your messaging, the word you use on your website. When you get called on in a room like this, what do you say? What do you not say? So that being said, I want us to be thinking about, and coming out of today's meeting, what is the current state of your brand identity? And I just threw a niche ton of jargon. So let's talk about something we all know something about, our shoes. So I'm going to put this in very simple language. Branding is new to you. So these are a pair of New Balance shoes that I got for 25 bucks a deal. And I got them because I just needed a pair of sneakers. They're not beautiful, they're messed up, but they got me running. And this might be your brand if it's that DIY logo that you created 5 years ago. Sometimes we just need to get rid of them. Here's another pair of shoes for my closet. They're kind of giving me Carrie Bradshaw vibes. It's coming back. I bought them around the same time as those sneakers. And they were such a deal at Ann Taylor. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. I don't know if you look a little closer, you can see some dust on them. That is because they sat in my closet. Because especially those of you who wear high heels will know, they are not comfortable. You don't want to wear them. So this could be your business. If it's that professional website that doesn't feel like you, or doesn't feel like your business, there are shoes that you never wear. What we're aiming for are actually the shoes that I am wearing today. So these little babies I picked up for my wedding, which was over 10 years ago. Thank you guys. And these are the logo and saying the story that put your best foot forward. These are the shoes that I can stand in all day, that I feel great about. I walk Angelina Jolie to a meeting. But they're the things that I feel confident when I walk out the door. I know who I am and what I want to see. And that's where you want to be if you have a business and you show up for it with your brand identity. So how do you do that? I've got 3 quick tips for that today. I'm keeping an eye on our time. But let's talk about that, because the more professional and relatable your brand identity is, the more they are like those beige shoes I got on today, you're going to get more business from more identity. That's what we want. So that is what I am nature of doing. For the past 10 years, I do what I call brand story solution. So I write clear messages, create consistent visual brands, and create compelling websites for coaches and consultants. So that's where I'm coming from, is the Disney experience, but the 10 years of doing this for hundreds of service basements. So what is it that I've learned? 3 big mistakes and how to fix them. So the first mistake I see a lot is that you have a logo that doesn't quite capture all the value that you bring. The logo doesn't make you look like an expert, right? It might be that pair of shoes that you just got started with 5, but when you look at it, or other people look at it, it's not delivering how valuable you are. So let's look at a couple of examples today. So this is my client, Sarah Eagle, and she came to me, and this was her website. And it's if you're partnering and growing your business. I'll just go zoom in a little bit. This was her logo. It's deliberately a little bit blurry, so it's the only quality she had up. But when you look at this, you don't get to know Sarah, and you don't get to know what she even does. Your partner and growing your business, what is that? You would have no idea that she's a Fortune 100 sales expert, that she's worked for Coca-Cola, that she's worked for NBC University. You'd have some idea when you have a logo that captures that value. So she went from this to this. Golden Scout Consulting, strategic roadmaps for sales team success. You go to her website, which we also developed through my solution. You can know exactly what she does. We're going to help you build or fix your first sales. She is the bomb.com. So that is the difference that a logo can make. And one of the things I wanted you to see was that logo had its tag. So the difference it can make to tell a little more story in that first visual people see about you. Here's another example. You're in Raleigh, and one of the best friends in Raleigh is a guy named Rick Franceschi. I would be surprised at all for a couple people in here who know Mr. Franceschi. He's also part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's a different conversation for a different day. But Rick came to me and he was using this logo, and that was not showing off his value. We took him here to Rick Franceschi, your big picture partner, and really showing off his value as a coach, consultant, and trainer. Another quick example here is this Little Dipper. You don't get any, what is Little Dipper? That could be, there's a Little Dipper place in Durham that is, you know, a melting pot, all that mess, right? This is Liz Harden, who is a really talented sleep coach, and she is building an incredible business around sleep coaching. So we took Little Dipper and gave her a tagline, Little Dipper, helping families discover sellers. Totally different deal, right? So if that is on the verge of your mistake you might be making, I would encourage you to update, revise your logo, make it client-centric, and think about that. Attack. A little more story. All right. A couple other things that we see a lot, that I see a lot, is your message is confusing your audience. So if you get up and you're not confident about what to talk about, or you say it and you kind of see that glazed over look, that's a problem, right? I want to introduce you to these are my clients, Gazelle Network. This is what they look like when I work with Tim and Luke at the very, very beginning. And I love to put this slide up and have people guess what the service is, but we don't have time for that today. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you what this was all about and why it's wrong. So I have to guess that this is like that they do piano classes or pianists, things like that. No. I'm going to show you what they do by cleaning everything up. So it is really important to get clear on what is your story, whether you work with a professional or not, you get really clear on how to tell your story. What is your brand message? We did that for Gazelle. And now when you go to their website, it is crystal clear what they do. They're not hiding behind piano artisans, simplified life. They say, welcome to the all-in-one business management software for piano technicians. It doesn't have to be creative. It needs to communicate clarity and context. Context has to come before creativity. So that's how you get to brand promises like save your time, wow your customers, play more music, grow with Gazelle. That took a name that made no sense. Admittedly, they were like, you don't know why it's called. And we made it make sense. So now when they go to trade shows, they can show up and they can have this very clear message that makes it really easy for them to sell what they do. So when they go to a conference, it just says grow with Gazelle. That drives the curiosity. Well, what is Gazelle? And how can it help my piano technicians? So if you've been confusing people, it might be time to really clarify and simplify your story. Because if you can't tell your story, you can't sell your story. All right, coming around the bend. The last mistake I see a lot is what I would call inconsistent and forgettable. marketing that you really can't decipher, you can't remember who you are. I was reading recently about marketing touches. I think some of you will know what I'm about to say, but you may have heard it takes 9 to 13 touches for someone to become your client. The latest research that I can find is saying it can be upwards of 50. If someone doesn't know who you are, it can be 20 to 50. If someone knows you really well, it could be 1 to 3, but 20 to 50. So your marketing needs to be consistent. It needs to be recognizable. And how you fix that is you put together a guide. You make sure that even if you didn't, you kind of piece together your branding, you can put together a guide with you and anyone who works with you, whether you have a team or your solo shop, you have a clear and consistent voice. So when everyone finds you visually in a written way, they're getting the same compelling story. You can't tell it until you know what it is. That's where we went there first. But putting it all together, what are the colors I'm going to use, what fonts I'm going to use, all of that good stuff. So the solution here is kind of simple, but really underrated. But putting it all together into the guide, what we call a brand identity guide. So bringing it around for today, that's kind of a quick look at what a brand identity guide might look like, ones that I've created before. So here are the 3 steps. If you want to have a best foot forward, if you want to feel really confident in those, heels or whatever shoes you're thinking about, you want to revise your logo so that it's client-centric, that it has at least a version with a tag. You want to clarify what their message is, and then you want to document both the written and the visual aspects, so you have that consistency, so that when people see you those 20 times, they become your client. They don't forget you after the first 3 because they can't tell if that's your business or not. So that's where we want to be, and just to wrap things up a little bit, no matter where you are with your shoes today, I want to encourage you because you are all showing up and putting one foot in front of the other. Doesn't really matter which shoes you're wearing today, if you know which shoe you are trying to get into. So that being said, I do have a couple of fun things. We've already done our little giveaway. So thank you for doing that. But a couple of things, I like GoPro, she gives away things. I don't have cars for everybody, but I do have some cool things. So it is not unique. If you have a service-based business and you would like to talk with me privately, you wish everybody would just leave and we can talk, that is rude. So we won't do that. But you can set up a private time to talk with me. And there's the QR code here, but there's also one over here at this. So feel free to set time and kind of put our heads together on what's going on. The other thing I'll offer is I have a free elevator pitch. So there's actually, I can talk on this as well, but if you have been trying to figure out, well, what get up and say when I have 30 seconds, Jessica can tell you what that talk is like. But grab this, it is my best elevator pitch template, and it's completely free. QR code here and over on the side over there. So called your best referral buyer. Enjoy that. And then of course, if you are curious about what I'm going to talk to you and my chief of staff over there is too. He finally read it. So great. Last but not least, if you start following me, I did just open doors to a workshop I'm teaching in September called Package Process. So specifically for the coaches and consultants of the world, struggle with how you talk about what you do, package your process, and finding a solution to doing that. So that being said, I'm here to answer any questions and then help wrap up the meeting. Carrie, thank you so much for having me.
I definitely will be setting up that to talk with you. We do have some time for questions. Andy, whenever somebody asks a question, could you repeat it just so our Zoom listeners can hear?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Hey there. That I think stings. Oh gosh, I'd have to think about that. What popped to mind was Starbucks, but I'm not sure why. I don't like Starbucks. I'm not a coffee person. So that might be when you're right. Coffee person, which ones do you love? And that's really lame and say Apple. And that's because, but the reason I like Apple, that I'll flip the question. Sorry, the question was, are there any logos I hate? The logo that I love is Apple because it gets simplicity. Right, and but if you Google, I would challenge you all to go Google what the Apple logo looked like originally. So it looks like a hand-drawn, surprising the apple falling from the tree. It's very different. So I appreciate that company has over time simplified its logo, and then you just know what it is. So I think that they weren't like so married to something that clearly doesn't work even in that frame in the 70s. Check it out. I'm curious, but Thank you for the question. What other questions y'all have?
I have one about, questions about color schemes. I noticed that color was one of your things in your brand guide. Do you have any recommendations on amount of colors to use or limit them to a certain amount?
I think it has a lot to do, in terms of amount. I don't know if it's about a number of colors so much as it's families of colors that work together and families of colors that correlate to one. So give you an example, like in my grade, you see a lot of red, and that red is the accent color. It's really meant to drive action. Action, and you heard a lot of like practical, actionable things. That's what it's all about, action for me. But in some brands that could feel really like dangerous, warning, harsh. It just depends on what the story is that you're trying to tell. As like a general rule of thumb, I'll come up with like 5 or 6 main brand colors for a client, and I'll say, use these 3 or 4 as your main ones so that you can add that, recognition. That people start to see those colors. I have like a navy, a dark blue, and a red. You saw me use consistently, it's right here on the screen. Right, so having that, not trying to use every single color under the sun, knowing what colors you want to use for your buttons or calls to action can be really useful as well. Yes.
Are there certain colors that are trendy that should stay away?
Are there certain colors that are trendy that you should stay away from? Yeah, obviously. What I would say is it's really going to be specific to who are your main competitors. So one of the things I always do when I do a brand strategy for a client is we will go and look at like what are their top 5 competitors, especially if they're a local business, and what do they look like? What stories are they telling? So you want to be cognizant of that, less so like the trends. Like I've been doing this for 10 years, and I never really worry about that because once old is new again, think of things with fashion and everything else. So to me, it's really the biggest desire for me is what is your ideal client? What is your ideal? How does your ideal client get pulled into things? How do they feel, assured? My brand used to be a little bit more black, like there was black instead of the navy. And over time, I've evolved that into navy because a lot of my clients are women, or older women who hate self-promotion, and having that softer color instead of the harsh black is just more inviting, right? So I focus more on like what I clients care about, and then the differentiation from who else might my ideal clients be looking at as options. But I don't want to look identical as the person sitting next to me. Less so the competition thing, but more so the, being a distinct option. That makes sense. Thank you. Yeah.
How has social media and like your Instagram reel, what all those things that are, I don't do any of them. But anyways, like how is that, you have someone's attention for like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
How do you connect brand to such a small amount of time?
Yeah, we've got really short attention spans. So the question is, how do we make our brands connect? Shorter attention spans for people. So I think it's a little bit of experimentation with what is your natural mood. So you're literally seeing me do this right now. So me showing up and speaking at a meeting is like the #1 way I've heard my business for years. Done this hundreds of times. I love it. It's what makes me comfortable. It's not a reel, it's not a TikTok, it's not an Instagram, it's not all these cool things, but it works for me. And I think it's really more about finding the things that work for you, trying a couple of things and paying attention to where your clients come from. When people have a short attention span, generally speaking, what you want to do is do some sort of interesting hook, like, hey, I'm a former business person. This is what Disney teaches. I'll start with something that drives curiosity, but I'm always going to be the queen of please choose clarity over creativity. I think that there's too much pressure. I think the social media exit has brought us that it's like the new gold rush. Everyone's like, you gotta be hot on TikTok, whatever. And it's like, I put about 1,500 people in my audience, and that makes me a 6-figure business every single year, 4 years, because I show up and I'm happy to become the Rotary, and I'm not trying to just be a star on TikTok. Like, no offense to people who are, but like, you can look at people with $100,000. That doesn't mean they have $100,000. That doesn't mean they have 100,000 clients. You don't know what their business is looking like. And there's just so many ways to market yourself. And this is something I'm very passionate about, is that social media is just one way to grow your business. So I'm certainly on it, certainly use it. It's not my be all and all. And my encouragement to everyone in this, if you felt like there's a place to the table for you now that it's changed, they've certainly changed. So much is online. There is a place, you just kind of have to find your natural style that works for your ideal clients. And then I would love you to be able to kind of on that. Thank you. Any other questions for today? All right, thank you so much.
advice, and I'm excited to talk to you further about it. Before you go, I know you said you've been to other Rotary meetings before, so I'm sure you've heard our 4-way test, but this is, whatever, you're not a coffee person, so tea, whatever, how I decided. Raw noodles, but thank you so much. Can everybody join me in saying thank you to Andy, and please go see her, okay. So Rotarians, can you all rise with me, Rotarians and guests, and join me in the 4-way test? In the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Before I ring the bell, I want to say welcome to Cindy and Nathan, welcome to the Rotary Club Raleigh family, and all these fantastic guests. If you're interested in joining, go see Harrison. We would love to have you. With that, meeting is adjourned. Yeah, get the mic.